'em up for Billy the Spit, won't y'all?
What? You gonna take us out with your colorful language?
My aim as a kid was to be a radio personality. So I was always into radio. I was addicted to radio. I must have, at one time, I think I had 4 or 5 transistor radios when I was a boy.
Yeah.
And I used to have a nun in the 4th grade who used to call me Mimicking Murray, Mimicking Murray. It's true, still doing it to this day.
Good, now hand over the goods and we may let you live.
Give me a little pre-roll on the lines before it, please. So you keep... As far as professional engagement, it began with Disney here in Singapore.
Catch Kim Possible every day at 6, only on the Disney Channel.
So I was doing promos for Disney and AXN. That's really where I learned my chops in terms of how to deal with people directing me and responding to direction as opposed to always just doing it the way I felt it should be done.
I'll definitely be more careful in the future about changing things without first thinking about their consequences.
But the real training came when I became involved in Japanese anime dubbing. And that was very intensive stuff that lasted about 2 years.
No criminal is going to outwit me.
I had heard about auditioning going on for a show called Detective Conan. I didn't know what show it was at the time. But I went to the audition, and apparently these guys had been auditioning all day long, and they had 20 or 30 individuals that they had tried out. They were looking to get the lead part, which is a young boy. He's a teenager, probably about 17, 16, and then he gets transformed into a small boy. And therefore we had to voice, or have a voice that was suitable for both aspects of that character.
Wait a minute, that's impossible!
Because I'm Shinichi Kudo.
And I was the last guy to be auditioned. And there was a whole panel, and I wound up becoming business partners with 2 of the guys who were on that review panel. So I just came from the office, actually. I think I had a suit on. And I had a briefcase. And they sort of looked at me rather strange. And then they put me in the booth, and they said, the guy who was actually directing the auditions, he was asking me to do different things. And once I started, he said, well, can you do any other voices?
Everything is all set, little girl.
Once I decided to do this, I started to inventory all the voices that I ever did. Imitated school teachers.
Oh, which means in your seats when the bell rings.
Family members, friends, TV personalities, cartoon characters, etc. And I just happened to have this list, and they were all astonished. They said, you have a list? I said, yeah, I have about 40 or 50 different characters on here. And I think that impressed them, or frightened them, one or the other, I'm not sure. But at any rate, I referred to the list. Didn't really have to, because he was firing stuff at me. Now do an old man.
I don't know what to do, Bill. Maybe I'm just being a suspicious old coot.
Now do an old man with an old woman.
It's been so long, it's nice to see ya!
So they were also testing my stand-up capabilities.
No problem.
So all of this kind of came to a head with me being cast as Detective Conan.
I'm Conan Itagawa.
That series unfolding, and then another one, One Piece, immediately following suit. And then another one, Prince of Tennis, coming after that, and UFO Baby in between. And all of this within a very concentrated period of time. So I was given a lot of artistic freedom, a lot of opportunity to really dip into my bag of tricks and demonstrate my vocal skill, my vocal range, and my talent for imitation and mimicry.
This is amazing! I've never met another person quite like you before.
Wealth, fame, and power came plentiful to the king of pirates, Gold Roger.
Well, there seems to be a lot of interest in anime. And on this website, we actually have a link to a website that's everything you ever wanted to know about the Singapore English dub of One Piece. In One Piece, I played a lot of different characters.
What's going on outside? They're sure making an awful lot of noise.
Huh? I've told you my story, now what about yours? I'm the mayor of this town, and that's Little Chow Chow. Now tell me, who are you 3?
Fortunately, there are people who comb the internet and do all this research for me, which is why I have one of those websites linked to this website. So if you're interested in One Piece, the Singapore English dub, who voiced it, in fact they even do interviews with various actors. Anyway, all the information is there. So there's a tremendous amount of interest in those English dubs that we did particularly at One Piece. But that has spurred some interest in some of the other dubs that were done as well.
That was totally weird. Who would have thought that it could happen?
So the anime period of my training was extremely valuable. I could not have done the Book of Virtues project had I not coursed my way through the Japanese anime work.
What'd you do that for?
And I really, I think, gained tremendous confidence in my character voicing, which allowed me to do and continue to do the stuff that I do today.
The end is near!